Welcome to the Trading with Venus podcast, where we help you establish strong trading habits, generate consistent profits, and create the lifestyle you desire for yourself and your family. Now your host, Raman Gill.
Hi, welcome to another episode of the Trading with Venus podcast. I'm your host, Raman. Recently, I took some time off and we traveled to Guatemala. Today, I wanted to share with you some of the trading lessons that I learned from taking this time off. One of the reasons I wanted to take time off was, one, because I was kind of getting sucked into too much negativity and I just needed a break from the business, from trading, from everything. Another most important reason that I had actually booked this trip way back was because we spend so much time in our day-to-day, going to work, doing the normal day-to-day, paying bills and this and that we don't take the time to appreciate the life that we do have. As a trader, I am so happy that I have flexibility in my life. And now that the kids are getting a little bit older, where they can appreciate things and they can actually go out and enjoy the vacation and understand what we're doing, it has been my dream to just take a month off over summer and actually go somewhere. So I wanted to introduce my kids to different cultures. I think growing up here in the westernized world here, we don't see a lot of what the other world or the rest of the world has to deal with. We get so used to, everything being easy, air-conditioned cars, air-conditioned houses. If it's too hot outside, there's heat if it's too cold, and anything that we need is at our fingertips. And kids these days, I think, are becoming a little bit entitled. So I wanted to take them on this trip so that, one, they get to experience different culture and they get to appreciate what goes on in the world, and we are not just living in this pond, not understanding the rest of the world. As I was away, of course, I got a lot of time to think because we were away for a month. So it was more of a relaxing vacation. We weren't just running from one thing to another, sightseeing. We rented a place, we rented a house, nice house, and we actually got to stay there and participate in the culture of the country and do the things that your everyday person living in Guatemala would do. I also got a lot of time to think during this trip. One of the lessons that I learned from this trip was that, first of all, from time to time, we need a change of perspective. We need to get away from our day-to-day so we can step back and actually see the complete picture. What's that saying? It goes, you can't see the frame when you're in the picture. So when you step outside, you're able to take an objective look at your life. And actually, it made me appreciate a lot of things that I do have. A lot of times we get so focused on this problem and that problem and all the little stressors and triggers that we have in our day-to-day that we forget to appreciate things. So it was a good time to step back and have an objective look at my life and see where I was at and what things I needed to change, what needed to go differently, and what I was doing well. And that was great. So change in perspectives, I looked at how I have been trading and what changes I needed to make. So there were some changes. There are some changes that I'm going to be implementing, and you will see that because I, of course, share all my results as well as the back end of things. So you will see some of those changes. Getting the right perspective is very important because it's too easy to get dragged down, and we don't need that. So just because you may have suffered some losses, it doesn't mean that's just how things are. We just need to step back and get some perspective. The second lesson that I learned from my trip was actually gratitude. Appreciating what you truly have. When you step away from your problems for a little bit, you get to see what the other world, the rest of the world lives like. This sense of entitlement that we tend to feel, the first world problems that we deal with, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, that's just small issues. We get upset over, oh, my Pepsi's not cold enough, or my, I don't know, coffee's not hot enough, it got cold and here I'm miserable, my Starbucks is not made to perfection. Those are not the issues that really matter in life. What really matters is the people that we are surrounded with. Having a wonderful family. I have a wonderful family, and it's weird that in the day-to-day stressors, we don't tell them that. All these people who are there for us, they are here to support us. The kids, they just come running. Doesn't matter what kind of trading day I have had, they'll just come running to me, and they're hugging you, and they're just loving you when you didn't have to do anything, just had to be alive in order to appreciate that. And we forget that. In trying to win this trade, what difference does it make if you lose 10 pips or you make 10 pips when you don't have anybody to share it with? So appreciating what you do have in your life, the nice house that we live in. Having spent a month in Guatemala, and I have to say, the places that we were living at were more the higher end. But comparing it to what we have here, the house that we live in every single day, not having to worry about mosquitoes and things like that, spiders coming in, and we don't have to worry about it being too hot or too cold because it's a perfectly climate controlled house, and we get tons of lights. Everything is so nice. So coming home, it was like stepping into a lap of luxury. It was so nice to come back home, even though I enjoyed my vacation, but it was nice to come back home. So appreciating these things, having a nice car to drive every time you want to go outside, having a nice house to live in, people who love you. These are the type of things that are most important in life. And everything that we do, our careers, making money, winning trades, these are to support the life, not the other way around. And a lot of times I think we get caught up in this where we are we make the career more important than the family sometimes, and we get too caught up in that. So that was the second lesson, that trading is very important, but we need to kind of focus away from the trading in order to improve our trading, because we need to go somewhere to fill our cup. And going to the family, I find, is always the easiest way to fill your cup. A new car, buying something, a new toy, a new gadget is not going to fill that. It will be just your friends and family, and that was nice. It was nice to spend time with my daughters. My daughter and I went there before, and then my younger daughter and my husband joined us later. But it was nice to just sit down with her and do things with her and see the world through her eyes, how excited she was. In order to win at trading, we have to look elsewhere to fill ourselves and then come back to trading with a full cup, so we can actually make our trading better. Third lesson that I learned from my trip was the importance of hard work. One of the things that was very obvious in Guatemala was that a lot of people lived below poverty line. And this is not to say that Guatemala was cheap. It was not by any means. It was actually not that as cheap as I thought it would be. But even then, the people that live below poverty line, there's a lot of them. And I saw people working so hard to make less than $10 a day. So that was their whole day's income, $10. That's all they made by working entire day. And it kind of made me think about my own trading. Here I was kind of whining about my trading because I was working so hard. I have to be up in the middle of the night at 12 o'clock so I can prepare for my trading. That starts at 1 o'clock for me, which is 3 a.m. Eastern, because I trade the London session. And so all my whining and crying just to sit in my comfortable office with my cup of coffee and my multiple screens to make some money, how is that the worst thing in the world? When these people are working out in the rain, in conditions that I wouldn't even be able to spend an hour in, and here I am crying about my fancy office. So So we have to understand that these are all just, first world problems. Why are we so fancy that we don't want to work? Today's day and age of instant gratification, we are promised so many things. Oh, you take this course and you'll become an instant millionaire. It doesn't work. It does not happen like that in real life. Even with internet marketing, people make such promises. You sell this product on Amazon and all of a sudden you'll be a gazillionaire. That is not real life. People who have found success are the people who have worked for it. And that means doing things when other people are having fun. So if I wake up at 12 o'clock in order to trade, that's for me because I want that lifestyle. On the flip side of it, if I need to go out at 2 p.m., if I need to take a whole day off, I have that luxury to be able to do that. So we have to make sure we are not getting too fancy by saying, oh, I can't do this, this is too hard, this is too inconvenient for me. Whereas the reality is, if the best trading session is a London session, I need to get my ass up there and be in my chair at 12 o'clock so that I can trade at 1 o'clock. That's just how it is. This is part of being in this business. If I don't want to be in this business, if I want things to be easy, then either I should not be looking for the money that I can make here, or I should find something else that is not trading. This is what trading is about. And when I was working full-time and I was trading on the side, it did mean that I had to get up earlier to look at the markets, or it did mean that I had to work around my schedule to do that. When you're learning and trying to work, things are hard and they will be hard, right? But the thing is, though, we have to make sure that we don't get so fancy that we are saying, oh, I want to learn and make money at the same time. It doesn't work, right? If you are going to learn how to ride a car, to drive a car, you can say to your instructor, well, I want to drive a car today. I want to learn how to drive a car, but I also want to win the Indy 500. This does not work. You're not going to do that. First, we learn, then we practice, and slowly, through our experience, through give and take, where we lose some, we win some, we get experience, and then we get good at it. But even when we are good at it, there are sacrifices that need to be made. And the reason for those sacrifices is because we want something. But we should not cry and whine about it, because this is what it takes. And if we chose this as our career, if we are choosing this as a career, because it is a choice, because there are a lot of other things you can do that are way simpler, and you could probably get the same results out of that. But if you're choosing to do this, we have to live with what comes with it. And part of that is either being up at times when we don't want to be up, when everybody else is sleeping, or it could be simple as taking trades or risking money and going back to it, putting time and effort into learning. All of that is a part of it. So I am not going to be too fancy. I'm not too fancy to be up in the middle of the night, because that's when money is made. If that's what I need to do, that's what I need to do. So I hope you enjoyed these lessons that I shared with you, and I hope you can take them and implement them into your life, or at least I hope I've given you some fodder for thought. For show notes for this episode, please visit tradingwithvenus.com/podcast page. And if you like this episode, please share it with your friends and give it 2 thumbs up. That's it for today. Have a great trading week, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us today. With much gratitude, your show host, Raman Gill.